Hello. So today's Bible study is going to be in the book of Jonah. We're going to focus on chapter 1. So chapter 1, let me set the scene. So God calls this man called Jonah. He calls him and tells him to go to a place called Nineveh to speak out against the people and warn them because they were very wicked and God had planned to destroy them. So Jonah heard what God told him, and he instead ran away, left, flee, and he got on a ship and went to a different place. Because he did this, the Lord sent a great wind on the sea, creating a storm that shook the ship and almost broke it apart. The sailors, as this was happening, they were very scared, and they each decided to call on their own God. And as they were calling on their own God, they were throwing things off of the ship to make the ship lighter, right? So as they were throwing things off the ship, where was this man Jonah? Jonah was below deck, laying down in a deep sleep. The captain came to him and woke him up and said, "What are you doing? Wake up. You know, there's a storm happening. Pray to your God. Maybe your God can hear you and save us and not let us die." The sailors ended up casting a lot, and guess what? The lot fell on Jonah. They ended up finding out that it was Jonah that had caused this problem. They said, "Tell us who is responsible for making all this trouble for us. What kind of work do you do? Where do you come from? What is your country? From what people are you?" So they're just asking him a bunch of questions, and Jonah answered them, "I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land." So when they heard this, they were scared, right? And they asked him, "What have you done?" Because Jonah had told them that he ran away from God. They asked him, "What should we do to you so that the sea can calm down for us?" And then Jonah said, "Throw me into the sea, overboard. And once you throw me into the sea, the storm will calm down." And the sailors didn't want to do this because they didn't want to feel like they're killing an innocent man. So they tried to row the boat to the dry land. But guess what? It didn't work. God would not allow them to do that. Finally, the men cried out to God and they said, "Please, Lord, do not let us die for taking this man's life. Do not hold us accountable for killing an innocent man. For you, Lord, have done as you pleased." So that right there, they decided to let God's will be done. Then they took Jonah and threw him overboard. And guess what? The storm and the sea calmed down. As that happened, the men were very afraid and they feared the Lord. They offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made vows to him. Now the Lord provided a huge fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. So if you go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 21, it says, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." In this story, it shows us that although Jonah and the sailors had their own plan throughout this whole incident that was happening of Jonah's disobedience, God's plan ultimately is the one that will prosper. So this story teaches us that if God tells you to do something, he has a plan for it. Don't, in your own knowledge and your own understanding, do your own will, because it will not work.